Navisworks tips. Um, One thing I'll tell you is to select something before you 3D orbit. Otherwise, it can get kind of squirrely on you. Um, Viewpoint, it'll be in perspective by default, which it kind of rotates no matter what you do. So what we're more used to, if you go to viewpoint and change it to orthographic, it's probably going to be more like what you're used to. That helps a lot of people. Um, to Right now you're seeing ceilings that from the scan. You can zoom in and see inside the room, but one thing that helps is to go to viewpoint, enable sectioning, and cut a plane and kind of look at it this way. It's kind of squirrely to me how this works, but if you do like align to view and turn on, let's see here. Gosh. Okay, so that part right there, I've never really totally figured out. You just got to kind of play around. I turned on plane 2 and moved it to get it to where I could see it. Also, one thing I feel like it helps to do align to view and then go back to top in case it's off who knows where. Make sure your plane 1 is, this turns it on and off. See how it disappeared? You can turn it on and off like that. And then you can see how you can kind of move it up and down and cut through, and now you can see the actual floors. These big circles are where the scanner was placed, so it kind of leaves those areas not as detailed. So other things you can do, go to home, append when you want to add an AutoCAD file or something to underlay to use, or another model, even whatever it is. You do append and you bring it in, and it'll bring that in. Now it always brings it like literally over a million miles away. I mean, it's in outer space. So to zoom to these things, you have to select them over here in the selection tree. See, there's that one, there's that, and then you can zoom. You can just do the zoom with the view cube to top, and it'll go to whatever you've got selected. You can also kind of go through and just pick the grid or walls, layers, if you want. To move it, I suggest moving it in AutoCAD and saving it. That way, if you need to reappend it, bring it in, it's already in the right spot, rather than moving it in Navisworks. And it's also a lot harder to move in Navisworks. To get the measurement from one to the other, to move it in AutoCAD, go to Review, Measure, select it, then select the other model, so you can go over there and click on it. See how it's asking for the second point. So you can click over here now, and it's telling you X, Y, Z of the start point, end point, and the difference between them. So that difference right there, you can see it's like 2 million feet in the X direction away, and 1.7 million or 100. I guess that's only 172,000 Y direction. So you can move it that in AutoCAD, resave it, reappend it. It'll come in over here. You still would have to tweak, refine it and get it to an exact point. But that's how you do it. If you wanted to actually move this, you can right click it over here and then do units and transform. It's called transform. Moving is called transform. You can put these differences in here and it'll move it. So I'll just kind of do a roundabout 2.124241 million feet, and then this way it's 172,984 feet. And also the sea level, the scan is going to be the correct sea level, whereas the AutoCAD file is typically going to be at 0. So you can see there's 1184 feet to get at the correct sea level. Click OK, and it should come over here, and you can see now where it could be, you could refine it to an exact point and get it real close if you want to move it that way. But if you're going to think you might have to reinsert an AutoCAD file, I'd say move it in AutoCAD. Either way, whatever works best for that situation. The other thing with this measure is how you're going to get your distances. See, it's kind of squirrely as is. I rotate it a little. But so if you're going through a room here, I'm actually going to hide this because I don't really need it right now. And so now it's gone. But measure, and then it, go from that point right there. There's your Z, 1183. That's sea level. You'll just go through every so often, depending on the project, and get your elevations. And there it only changed to 16th, but point 1 was 1183. That point 2 was that. I mean, it'll change as you go around. These aren't really changing that much, but there you go. There's over an inch change. But that's your Z that you'll be. What I do is I go around in straight lines in the rooms and then put whatever value I'm getting here from each point. I just do it point by point really. So I put that 1183 in the AutoCAD file where I've selected in the model. And then just kind of go along, however often everyone has agreed makes sense. And then there's that point. Just go through and point it like that if you're doing a topo or just getting kind of the variances. So this will probably be by default in meters or something, so you'll want to go to options and change it. Interface, display units, feet and inches, fractions. Round it to a 16th like we're used to, and then you'll see the right numbers. You can save viewpoints. You go to viewpoint, save it right there, name it what you want. That way when you go over here and do something over here, you can easily get back to that view if you're using it by just clicking on it over there. That's save viewpoint. I think that's it. The only other thing maybe would be to walk. This model's kind of not working, but you can walk in a straight line when you do viewpoint walk, and it doesn't get as squirrely. And you can do it rotated down to, if you're wanting to kind of walk through the building, you can do the same thing, and just kind of walk. Just drag your mouse, and you can walk. So that's it.